Okay, boys and girls, I wanted you to get your technology consumable open to Town Tackles Energy Debate. Last week, you guys were to have read this and annotated it, so yours probably looks a little bit different than mine. Today, I want to just read it together, and I want to see and make sure that we have the right annotations moving forward for the different kinds of skills that we're going to be focusing on, okay? So, since I don't have you guys to call on to read it, I will just read it and kind of discuss it with you. The Hopeville Ledger Morning Edition. So obviously this is a newspaper article. It's a journal. It's in the journalism genre. Okay. And it is by Francisco Blaine. Last night, Hopeville's Mayor Julia Sanchez held a town meeting with town residents to discuss plans for a new power plant. The plant would be built on unused farmland and outskirts of the city. So far, no one agrees on what kind of energy to invest in. So when I'm done looking at that paragraph, what stands out to me and what makes me think is important is that first sentence, right? Last night, we'll just highlight it here. Last night's Hopeville's Mayor Julia Sanchez held a town meeting with town residents to discuss plans for a new power plant. Okay, that seems important to me. Obviously, if they're putting everybody together and having a meeting about it, it is an important issue that needs to be addressed. Second paragraph. The federal government will give us $200 million, Sanchez said, but that will only pay for part of the cost. We will have to raise most of the money ourselves. The question is, what kind of energy plant will we develop? The mayor presented two alternatives, natural gas or solar power. Okay, so that paragraph, we already know that they met together, the residents, to discuss a power plant. And the mayor has given them two different options. Those options are in that last sentence. Oh my goodness, I always pick on the wrong one. Presented two alternatives, natural gas or solar power. Okay? That to me would be the first major event. Okay? In paragraph 1, we're saying that's important. But here on paragraph 2, we're saying that's the main event that has happened so far. Okay? What we're focusing on today, moving forward, is text structure is what it's called. Okay? It's text structure. And text structure can mean a lot of things, but the way that we're looking at it as the way... Oopsies, I don't know what the heck that was. I don't want that. The way the author organizes the writing. Okay, so let's look at paragraph 3. A loud debate followed her remarks. Tom Bradshaw, a professor from Southwest University, said, "We must pursue solar power. Solar power is energy from the sun. It's free and clean. We can't continue to release greenhouse gases that cause the planet to overheat." He showed the audience a report from the California Energy Commission. It said that 1 day of sunlight contains more than twice the energy people could use in 1 year. Well, okay, so we're going through this meeting and the mayor has given us two options, and automatically Tom Bradshaw, because he's a professor of Southwest University, probably has some sort of idea more about solar power, and he is debating, right, what they need to get. He's voicing his opinion. We must use solar power. Okay, so that's like just thinking if you were at this town meeting, what would be the events? The first event, mayor says natural gas or solar power. Next event, Tom Bradshaw is mad. He says, no natural gas. You have to be solar power all the way. Okay, moving on. Vicki Tomlin, a store owner, also argued for a solar power plant. It would be good for Hopeville's economy. People will want to move here, she said. Look at the statistics on the Eco News website. Around 20,000 new jobs were created in the fields of the solar power last year alone. the fossil fuels industry is cutting jobs. So here we have another person, Vicki Tomlin. She's just a store owner. She's not somebody maybe who perhaps studies energy, but maybe she knows something. But she's arguing for a solar power plant, right? And she's telling us, well, this would be good because of the economy, right? And remember, economy is money. So that, to me, would be my third event. Moving on. However, whenever you see that, that usually means that somebody or something is going to disagree with what is being said. However, real estate developer Carlos Hill cautioned against solar power. The Mesa Palms solar plant's 2 counties over cost $2 billion. We can build a natural gas plant for half that amount. Yet fossil fuels are non-renewable, but they're still available. We found a large natural gas reserve near where we plan to build. Okay, so now we've got 2 people that think that solar power is the way to go, but we have real estate owner Carlos Hill. He's not digging the solar power. Okay, he says that we can build natural gas for half that amount. That would be what happened next in the meeting. Okay, moving on. Paragraph 6. At this point, the meeting heated up. What does that mean? That means now people are getting angry. People are voicing their opinions. People want to know more. At this point, the meeting heated up. We all have our statistics, Mr. Hill, said Eve Pierce, a spokesperson for LightPath Energy. Which means she knows something, right? The Mesa Palms solar plant was expensive, but it generates enough power for 100,000 homes, more than you need. You could make money selling the extra electricity to other towns. Okay, so now I guess Eve Pierce is talking about what we could do. It looks like she's still talking, but I'm going to highlight her name. Okay, because she's works for an energy company, and I'm going to keep reading then. Pierce cited findings from the Environmental Protection Agency. In 2012, over 70% of our electricity came from burning fossil fuels, mostly coal and natural gas, she said. In other words, electricity generates the largest share of greenhouse gas emissions, she stated. That has to change. So now Eve Pierce is taking facts, using factual evidence to support her claim, okay? She's saying that in 2012, over 70% of our electricity came from fossil fuels, coal and natural gas. Electricity generates the largest share of the gas emissions, okay? So she used findings, she used evidence, right? And I'm just going to write that. With findings, that's meaning evidence, okay? Paragraph 8, Hill interrupted by saying, but natural gas is a cleaner fossil fuel. It produces half as much carbon dioxide as coal, and that's according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Plus, new drilling technologies and mapping tools make extracting the gas more efficient. No decision was reached at the meeting. Mayor Sanchez promised to hold more public meetings before a decision is made. So that's pretty important. They had this town hall meeting, but where did they get? Nowhere. They're going to hold more meetings before they make a decision. Okay? So here, when I look at the text structure of this reading, I notice that it is in what we would call a chronological order. Okay? And chronological is meaning in an order, right? It's in the order the events took place. Let's change our color here. So this is in chronological order. All right. And again, yours might look a little different than mine because you have annotated maybe some other things. But I was really looking for those different main events. okay, when you go into Google Classroom today, now that you have listened to this and read through it one more time, there's going to be an activity. I'm going to try to find this on my computer. And this activity is asking you to state some things that really I just did for you, so it should be pretty easy. You're putting down the introduction, right? What's the intro? What is this going on? What were the events in the order that they were said? And how did this end? Okay, that's all you're doing for this, is thinking about chronological order and how this is done in that type of text structure. Okay? All right. I'm sure I will talk to you.